Welcome back everybody to BeamNG.drive, and yeah, this Gavril H series has had a remaster in part of an update. Part of that update means that we've got new variations, and one of them is this street tune version, which as you can see is definitely inspired by the Mystery Machine from the Scooby-Doo series, and yeah, it looks really rather good. Being the street tune version, it's now got a 5-speed manual, twin sports exhaust, sports bumpers rear and front, a rear spoiler, and it is now rear-wheel drive, although it might well be all-wheel drive as well, I'm not sure. It doesn't say. So yeah, but these vans typically are rear-wheel drive, and you see it's got much bigger wheels and a rather snazzy paint job, and also sports seats as well, or racing seats in fact. So yeah, the standard H series was not particularly good in its review. It failed spectacularly at the Crash Hall, for instance, where it failed all three. So yeah, hopefully this remaster has jigged up the way that this car crashes, because yeah, it wasn't particularly well designed. So yeah, as per usual, we're going to go around the suspension area, see how long it will last before it breaks, and then we'll go over to the other side of the map where we'll roll it over a few times, blow it up, and put it for a cinder block wall. Not all at the same time, mind. And yeah. Also comes with traction control, which I'll turn off if it starts to interfere with the car once stuff starts braking, but we'll keep it on for now because this has quite a lot of horsepower. It has 389 horsepower, 428 pounds-feet of torque from a 6.9 litre V8, which is obviously quite a fair bit. And yeah, the suspension has obviously been lowered, which I think is going to be the real deal breaker with this in terms of suspension testing. Because obviously the lower it is, the less give it's got, and the more likelihood it is to break. Well, it didn't enjoy those very much, but it got over them. Not sure about damage though. Bumper, windscreen have gone. Door looks like it's coming out, yep. Let's go on the wavies. Well, the less harmful wavies, that is. So banging and a crashing. And now the properly harmful wavies. Come on. Well, it's taken a fair bit of punishment so far. The ultimate test is going to be one of these next few. So let's get a run up. Let's go, go, go. Plenty of speed. Oh, 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 ow, 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 ow. I think that's killed everything. Yeah, that really low suspension is not helping whatsoever. So yeah, we lost the exhaust, and then we lost the drive line. And yeah, we also lost the bumper, the door is coming off, the suspension has completely collapsed at the front. And yeah, we've failed, and even that rear wheel looks completely shot. So yeah, it didn't last very long there, but quite frankly I expected it to last less time. But yeah, I can't really call that a pass given how yeah, as soon as it got onto any of the difficult parts it immediately broke. So yeah, bit of a shame there, but regardless, let's move on to the rollover ramp. Pretty sure the standard H series broke to a driveline going as well, so it's clearly a common flaw. Let's back it up a little bit. Right. Let's reload it here so we can use it in a bit. But yeah, let's get onto the rollover ramp. See how well it does with this. We've already damaged the exhaust, oh well. Shows how low it is getting onto the ramp of all things. Now the standard H series rolled quite a lot, but with this having really rather hard suspension, I imagine it won't do very well here. Yeah, it's not done very well there at all. It's sliding on its side, which is fine for the car. It means it's going to take less damage, although we have taken some oil starvation damage to the engine. That means that there's been very minimal damage done to the car. Now, I do apologise for it being so loud, so I'm going to try and, ginger it across, because, yeah, the exhausts off of this make the car sound like a race car. So, yeah. Race car without the ability to climb a ramp. When you've got nearly 400 horsepower and you can't get up a ramp. I swear to God. Right, try it again, and this time succeed. Doesn't help that it's got a stupid diff. There we go. Had to cause a little bit of bodywork damage, but nothing crucial. Right. About time. Yeah, this car's refusing to roll over. Really doesn't want him, does it? That is, yeah, bit of a surprise. Obviously it's taking some damage to the doors and the windows and whatever else, but frankly the most damage I've done to it is more than this, so yeah, not quite sure why it's deciding to not bother. Obviously I feel like the suspension is playing a part. It does weigh a fair bit at 5,721 pounds, but surely that's no more than a oh dear. And again we just land on our side anyway, so yeah, sorry for missing that. Don't know what button I was pressing, but yeah, that's a pass, but it's a very unspectacular pass, a very boring pass as well, but yeah, it's a pass regardless. But yeah, no idea why that's not been working properly. A bonus one. Let's try it one more time, see if we've been doing anything wrong. Let's do it one more time. Well, we've lost a wheel, but obviously this is yeah, there we go, now it rolls. Obviously this does not count. We've already done our 3. Doesn't matter how unspectacular or undamaging they were, we have done our 3. But at least we get a little bit of a showcase of what would have happened if it had been behaved. But even then, it only rolled a couple of times. But obviously more crucially, it has lost a wheel. But yeah, still. No idea why that was behaving the way it was. But regardless, it has passed. Right, let's see what happens when we hit the explosive barrels at 60 miles an hour. Now, the standard H series performed very well. Only really lost some bodywork. Let's see if the same's for this. Not quite. definitely damaged the wheel quite a fair bit. And we're actually going to do a land on the roof, maybe? Nope, the nose. Oh. At least we didn't land on the roof. But yeah, that's pretty painful on the front end there, in the explosion and in the landing. We still drive. Do we still steer? Yes. Sort of. Still works. Just not as great as it would have, but that's not a surprise given what it's just gone through. But yeah, that is at least a pass. So yeah, we've got 2 out of 3 so far. It's just that the first pass wasn't particularly spectacular. So let's see what happens when we hit the cinder block wall. Now obviously this weighs quite a fair bit, so hitting that wall is not, you know, going to be the biggest task ever, but it's still going to be interesting to see what happens to the car itself. Oh! Quite a fair bit of flex from the bodywork there, and the windscreen has caved right in. Which I guess is a result of the car being so tall and it's hitting a large proportion of those bricks. It'll come raining down on the car. Yeah, that's taken quite a severe amount of damage there. The usual damage is obviously the front bumper, the front fascia, the radiator, the bonnet, whatever. But yeah, as you can see, a lot of the bodywork has flexed behind all of that. The roof has bent upwards slightly. The windscreen has caved right in, not to a dangerous level, but it has come far further in than most vehicles. And yeah, also lost some windows on the doors. So that's taken a lot of damage, but it is a pass regardless of all of that damage. So yeah, so that's 3 out of 4. Not a bad score whatsoever. So yeah, let's get on to the crash haul and see how this deals with 30, 40 and 60 mile an hour small overlap crashes. Right, so the standard H series was, well, before the remaster, didn't even pass the 30 mile an hour impact crash. So yeah, I'm hoping that this will be able to manage that. Now this is the 2006 to 2017 version of the van, and yeah, it's more than capable of getting up to at least 60 miles an hour. So it's more than going to manage 30, but yeah, still can do 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, which I guess is no surprise given all of the horsepower it's got. And 0 to 117 seconds, and going to a top speed of 141, and we've passed that, that's for sure. Far better than the original Remaster managed before the remaster. So yeah, they've clearly done a little bit of work on this at lower speeds, and still drives. So yeah, that's a pass. But there is some obviously concerning elements, the door and the roof being 2 aspects there. So let's see if it manages to succeed at 40. Yeah, maybe. I think. Well, the door's popped open, the chassis is bent, definitely. Not entirely convinced that that's a pass, to be honest. What do you think? But yeah, I don't think that is actually, because the steering wheel has come right the way forward. And yeah, there's very little space there for you to manoeuvre. So yeah, I'm going to call that a fail. It's not a spectacular fail like with the original version, but it's a fail regardless, because yeah, of how much the steering wheel has moved and the doors popped open. So yeah, that wouldn't be particularly safe. Right, let's see what happens at 60. The original was quite spectacularly bad at 60 miles an hour, so let's see how we do here. Yeah, just as bad as the original on that front. Yeah, ow. See, the problem is the exact same way that exact same problem that the original one had, and it's the fact that the front bit, you know, the engine, the bonnet, and all that lot, and the passenger and driver compartment are all so soft in comparison to the rear cargo part. It's just so rigid behind the front door that it's just transferring all of the energy that isn't going into the rear and back into the softer parts, because you can see that there's been no energy really transferred whatsoever to the rear there. There's been no deformation to the rest of the van really. Slightly on the roof, but as you can see the side panel has barely moved. There's been no breaking of glass in the rear windows, which sometimes happens with cars that are a bit better in design, because the energy transfers itself from the front round the sides to the back, and that just hasn't happened whatsoever. It's just all the soft bits at the front that have just taken all of the damage. So yeah, that's a fail, but still 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So let's get onto the highway and see how this deals with 2 60-mile-an-hour impacts against vehicles that are a similar size and weight, and then one that really isn't. Right, so here we are at the highway. So yeah, we're going to go up against a modern heavyweight. Not as heavy, granted, as it weighs about 1,200 pounds and less than we do, but it's a Chariot Tograg electric crossover. So yeah, this weighs about 1,200 pounds less than we do, but obviously it's got modern crumple zones. It's got you know, way more safer design than we do in the van. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens when modern design meets not so modern design. So yeah, let's take a look. Can barely see where we're going. Slow that right down. Oh. Well, I think the crumple zones of the crossover there actually helped us. Seem to have slowed us down a lot better than it would have normally. Because yeah, the crossover's been practically untouched inside, despite obviously coming up against something that's far heavier and actually quite larger than it. It's dealt with that perfectly, quite frankly, as you can see. Barely any intrusion into the passenger area. Yeah, it's lost a window, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's fine, but obviously we've taken a fair bit more damage. But I think overall it looks okay in here. The doors have popped open though. But yeah, still I think that's done fairly well, so I'm going to give that a pass. Now let's go up against something that is as maybe as old as we are, quite frankly, in terms of design. See what the difference is in that. Now I think we went up against one of these in the standard H series that we reviewed before it got remastered, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the difference really, or if there is one at all. So yeah, I think we went in one of the heavyweights that were about as heavy as we were. Well, that's 5'9", 6'3", 5'9". Yeah, this one. It's only about 55 pounds more than we are. So yeah, interesting to see what an equally old design can do against one another when they're about the same weight. Now the D series is hardly the safest of vehicles out there, but still, imagine it's going to be better than this. Oh, definitely better than this. The D series has barely even been touched in terms of the interior, whereas we have had our steering wheel put where we are, as well as pretty much the dashboard as well. Yeah, the D-Series has obviously had some damage. The doors have popped open, the windscreen has smashed. But as you can see, the steering wheel hasn't moved. seats haven't moved, nothing's really moved outside of the dashboard, so yeah, but with us, yeah, pretty much completely squished backwards, which is, yeah, undoubtedly a failure, which is surprising when you consider that there's only a £55 difference in it. But yeah, the D series is just that bit better designed in terms of the way that it deals with crashes. Yeah, it's not perfect, yeah, it's still quite old, and up against a modern car it would be decimated, or at least be worse, but yeah, it just deals with crashes a lot better than we do. It does not transfer them, you know, the energy into the passenger compartment quite as much, so therefore it's, yeah, better. Right, now let's go up against something that is infinitely larger than we are, infinitely heavier, and therefore will decimate us, but it should be fun nonetheless. So let's, yeah, we haven't gone up against a bus before, I don't think, so let's go up against the school bus. As you can see, it weighs £30,517, and we weigh £5,721, so yeah, quite a difference in weight there, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. If it doesn't crash, come on, you can do it. Some mods do obviously take longer to load up, and obviously when new updates come out that can play havoc with some mods, but this one still seems quite stable. Yep, nothing wrong with it by the looks of things. Right. Let's go for a top-down view on this, can't see anything. Slow it right down. We're gonna survive it all. Oh no. Ultimate pain has been brought upon us. It's peeled through us. And you can tell that there's been a lot of damage when even the rear the harder parts have been completely crumpled up, which haven't really taken any damage so far in this episode, and yet with this bus it has completely shown it the door, quite frankly. Yeah, the bus has taken a fair bit of damage, no doubt about that. Especially where the opening of the door is, which is clearly the softer part, but yeah, we're not interested in the bus, to be honest, so you go away. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much ignored the bus, that is, has pretty much ignored the wheels and the engine and just gone straight through the bodywork, peeling it right the way back to the point where I think it might well be off the chassis itself. No, not quite. But quite frankly, it doesn't feel like it's on exactly well, you know, held on there anymore. Yeah, that's pretty devastating, to be honest, and yeah, I think you can fairly say that it was a failure on that point. So yeah, only 1 out of 3 here, but it did get it get 2? I think it got 2 on the crash hall, and then it got 3 on the grid map, so a 6 out of 10. Not bad, but definitely been worse, better, and worse, to be honest. I think the standard H series from before it got remastered was worse than this, so yeah, there is some improvement in that regard, but it's still a car that is fundamentally flawed by the way it's designed, and that means it's not particularly safe, but it does provide some really rather spectacular crashes, so yeah, I guess at the end of the day that's more important, because this is a game, and yeah, this game does crashes beautifully. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.